That's right.
That's empty. Yeah.
Need the springy seat and all. Shoes out of the way.
Got this thing's all hooked up on a trailer like. Tongue.
Yeah, right.
See? On a ball right there. Oh. I don't know if I ever really come up here before.
I think I can take a read.
Yeah, bathroom. Look at all the trees up here.
Yeah.
A lot of these places are. You got a lot of water here to irrigate with. Wow. Some old artifacts in here. Everybody's boat to get in here, but it is cool, the big party. Nice, huh? Yeah. It's called Cherry Creek. Nobody wants to get out? They're just going by, the rafts are. You guys don't want to get out? Cherry Creek? Come on out. Huh? I need to get my river shoes on here. Yeah. I told Dan would just try his cast out here, see what happens.
Really good fish.
It all looks good fishing around here. Come get your feet wet. So I dare you to sit in it. That's the thing, on a hot day, you come and sit down and take a shower. It's not that cold. No, feel the water. Cool little creek, huh?
Yeah.
Look at back up in there, all the water coming down. We got the cave up there.
Fish on.
Oh, fish on already? Oh, I totally missed it all.
What's Jonah use?
Yeah, what's Jonah use?
He's got a wedding ring.
We're jumping way out.
He's got us tied up. I hope so. Well, I know how to run the boat if we jump. We'll see. We wouldn't want to get loose here.
You have fires, Dad?
That's all right. I know how to run the boat.
Want me to get them?
I got it.
The boat got away from us one time in a microburst, and he took me down across the river, and I had to take the boat back in that wind, back up to camp.
Was it hard?
It was one of my scarier jet boating moments.
The white knuckle stuff. So what am I doing?
This is a pretty sure boat.
But I was successful.
Huh?
Diameter things floating under there. Got it. Fish on, buddy.
Yeah, we'll just take the 6 and 8,
Attavish, huh?
6 and 8 inches
And
and
show
go right
up
into
at
our
the
dock.
dock.
We used to make it a whole lot of work to go logging in that water. Now we make
Okay.
figure out
You want
how
to
to
cast out straight on the
was hanging out there, and they were known for rustling cattle on either side of the river and horses and swimming across, selling them on the other side. They even, it's proven that they did go clear into Montana one time, robbed a stagecoach, got a bunch of money, came back, supposedly had it stashed there at Doug Bar. But they'd been working out of Doug Bar there for quite a while, and they were established family members from pioneers of Joseph and Enterprise over in that area. And that winter, God, I'm not even going to try to hit the dates on the head, but 1860s, there's a group of about 50 Chinese that ended up in Lewiston after the gold was playing out elsewhere. They'd come down in these canyons, Salmon and Snake River, and rework the tailings of the white guys. Mostly is what they were, only thing they were allowed to do. They weren't allowed to stake claims or anything. And they loaded up 2 big wooden boats in Lewiston with gear, like long dugout canoes more or less, and they got a bunch of ropes and poles, and about 50 of them all together, 2 boats, and they pulled them from up here. Guys on shore holding onto the ropes, and guys downriver pushing out with big long poles, and they pulled those boats all the way up here from Lewiston and when they got here, the group, they said it looked like there was a good place to start, and around half of them stayed here. The other half kept going and went clear up to Salt Creek. You know where Salt Creek is? Above Pittsburgh Landing.
Above Pittsburgh?
Yeah, it's just above the Kirkwood Museum on the Oregon side. And the other ones went clear up there. Well, the outlaws kept an eye on these guys. It's just around the corner down here by Trail, and they saw them working really hard and industrious, and they rechanneled this whole creek and had multiple sluice boxes set up and were working. So the outlaws figured they probably had some gold somewhere, and they let them work all winter on it. And in the spring they made a plan, and they came up here and hid in the rim rocks and started picking them off one at a time. And there's different stories on, this is a real condensed version, that there was only one guy that knew where the gold was. You've heard that on more than one gold story, but only one guy in the group knew where the gold was, and they evidently shot him because they never did find any gold. There's another story that says they did find a little bit of gold, but there was like mid-30s of people. They don't even know exactly how many, 33, 35, and they killed them all, and they came down and hacked them up, dismembered them, threw their body pieces in the river, and either they did find a little gold or they didn't find any. They did or didn't, but they went back to their job. Oh, and a big part of it, right after that massacre happened, that group from up above hadn't done any good at Salt Creek, and they had come back down, and they pulled in here and saw what had happened, and they were killed by the outlaws. They ended up getting killed. So and nobody said anything about it. They found some body parts washed up in Lewiston, and people would just say, oh, it's just Chinese, and brush it off. And there was an old retired police officer that said, he saw too much evidence that couldn't be ignored, and he decided he was going to investigate on his own. And he came up and infiltrated them as a gold miner, a prospector, and infiltrated that group of outlaws down there, and saw that they had like sacks of rice sacks and things like that with Chinese markings on it. So that was his first clue that he was on the right trail. And he collected a lot of evidence and went back to town. This all took months to do back then, and ran it through the courts with evidence, and they put out a warrant for the people, and as soon as there was a warrant put out for them, they all freaking disappeared. A couple of them were never heard from again. A couple of them from the more well-to-do families in Joseph, they were arrested and went to court and found not guilty. And it was a real corrupt trial, and the records just came out recently, and that David Noakes from the Portland paper found it in the back of an old safe in Joseph County. There was some documentation that they found about who knew about it, and who knew their kid was involved in it and stuff like that, but kept it quiet and made sure they didn't get prosecuted. So to this day, it's the largest mass murder in the history of the Northwest. Thankfully, hopefully it won't get broken, but it was 30-some plus people altogether.
Yeah, and they got away with it, huh?
Yeah,
For the
well,
most
they
part.
actually took it clear to the Chinese consulate. A group of Chinese and they negotiated with the Chinese government, the United States government, and I can't remember the dollar amount. In today's dollars, it was maybe a couple $1 million or something. But we did give them a cash settlement for the people that were murdered here. And there is a monument up here that was put in, that, and some writings. It's kind of a neat hike, and there's some Indian writings in the monument to the Chinese. And on the tour boats, we'd get an amazing amount of Chinese nationals, Chinese people that heard about it, read about the book, and made a pilgrimage to come up here and see this monument. And it's amazing. They believe in money for the afterlife and food, and they just leave all kinds of fresh fruit and vegetables and
Bottles
all
of
kinds of
sake.
this Chinese money around. And Butch and I, the other guy driving boats, looking at each other, going, "Who's going to clean this?"
It won't be hard to
They
volunteer.
leave all kinds of stuff behind, and it was supposedly for their ancestors to use in the afterworld.
Huh.
And oftentimes you'll come up here and there'll be money or tokens sitting on the monument.
How far is it up there?
It's not very far.
100 yards.
Oh, I want to go up there and look at it.
Cool.
It's-
Because they didn't want it to be a bullseye.
Right.
That's why they put it up here.
Good idea.
Nothing, hasn't been much people. This will all be beat down to dust by fall. It's actually lush compared to how I've seen it here. Yeah, all that bench over there is some ditch water.
Yeah, it was horrible how they treated the Chinese.
This is Deep Creek, and I've seen this for the first time in my life here a couple of years ago or so. It completely dried up. First time
Wow.
I've ever seen it dry.
Some more of the Chinese dwellings.
There's more rock work there. They must have had a pretty big, they probably had a pretty big room or two built here. And then this artwork always amazed me. I've been told by Nez Perce that it is Nez Perce, but it doesn't look like any Nez Perce writings I've seen anywhere else.
Oh.
But Nez Perce told me it was Nez Perce. And they have faded over the years. They used
Sure
to, that's
have.
the other thing these used to be real unique for. They were really just
Yeah,
bright
I went-
red and jumped out at you.
Okay, let's see how old Joey goes down.
Mark Sandquist and I hiked this trail back to the hike trail.
Really? Here we are up at Doug Bar. Kind of a famous place. We are the Eye of the Needle.
Yeah, and you can almost run that side of it. It's just a little too low.
Well, it's a big pour over there, isn't it? That water.
Always on my mind, always.